This ain't right.
I'm about to say it's been live for 2 minutes now.
All right, man. Nah, there's supposed to be a way I can drop that what you call it, man. There's a countdown and all this cute stuff, and now I don't see how to do it. But anyway, man, we live. I think we might be in the Stu's chat room. Cool. Fellas, what's going on?
What up?
What's up, Dougie?
Man, what's going on? We got Philly's finest, my man Rell Scott in the building, representing Philly, okay? But he also represents the ATL too, on most occasions. So what differentiates whether you represent Philly or ATL? Just today, how you feeling? What?
ATL's anything but basketball. Short and sweet. You see the hat? You see the jerseys behind me?
Right.
You got the DOC over there. You got Mo Cheeks right there. So ATL all day. But when it comes to that B-ball, straight Philly, man. Straight Philly.
Okay, all right. And then we got my man Vince Wright, a.k.a. the governor of Minnesota Sports Talk. Vince, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Dougie? Good to hear you. And what up, Rell Scott, the fashion pimp of Philadelphia, man. This is excellent. Glad to be on with you, homies.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Man, so Vince, what's like springtime like in Minnesota?
Well, that verdict helped.
Oh, man. Yeah, big time. Yeah. And I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that definitely helped.
Yeah, that verdict is definitely helping the springtime mood. But now, man, we're about to hit 80 degrees up here this weekend, supposedly, and it's been chilly, the past couple weeks. So I'm just ready to get out and get the golf in, man. I'm golfing with my homies over at the Renaissance Golf Club, and get brothers are going out finally for our first round Saturday. So I'm excited, man. Just bring that warm weather on.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, but I've been seeing a bunch of golf stuff from you and the missus. Like, y'all have been playing. Y'all been traveling a lot, though.
Well, we played down in Phoenix back in February. We played a couple rounds so far when we were able to get out, on a couple nice days we've had. Mm-hmm. But, man, I'm just trying to kick her butt on the golf course. And, outside of that, just going to be doing a lot of golf this summer, I promise you.
Okay, so now I actually found a little countdown thingy. Okay.
All right.
And you know what? This is kind of like, let me say this to people that have already tuned in. This is kind of like a pilot show, a pilot episode of I don't even know what we're gonna call this thing yet, but I've been saying for a long time I'm gonna try to do a show once a week and maybe even more than once a week, but that's just not been possible over the last 8 months, ever since I got my promotion at my job. So this is a pilot episode. So some of the things we're going to screw up on here. You know what? I want to do my little countdown. So we're going to go ahead and do my countdown. We'll be back in 30 seconds. There we go. Yeah.
Official. The countdown.
The countdown is slide. We had to have the countdown. I like the countdown. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So listen. We're not going to be here too long, but you guys are both in the Two Live Stews chat group, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sir. And so periodically we have posts from some outrageous people that just want to post outrageous things and get under my skin, okay? And sometimes I just can't take it no more. So we have to do one of these video podcasts, all right? Something that infuriated me, it was blasphemous. Somebody posted a meme. And when I say somebody, I think it was actually one of the writers or something from ESPN or Fox Sports or something like that. I don't know. I didn't even check to look at that. But somebody posted the top 10 most electrifying players in college football. Now, to say that I disagreed with the list is an understatement. now y'all seen the list as well. Y'all seen the list as well.
Yes,
I'm going to go ahead and post the list, and let's have a little dialogue about that. Okay, there we go. And now, Rell, you might need to move over a little bit to your others. There we go. All right.
Okay.
So here's the top 10 list. Their top 10 list. Okay, let's start off at number 10 first of all. Ted Ginn Jr. Now, I like Ted Ginn Jr. Ted Ginn Jr. He's as a track guy. He's kind of fast. But would you ever think that somebody would say Ted Ginn was one of the top 10 most electrifying players in college football history?
Not at all, Doug. Not at all. And
Nah.
Give me whatever that person is smoking, man. Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn, like you said, he was a nice player for the Buckeyes, man. But all time? Come on.
That's crazy. That's
Come
crazy.
on.
And then number 9 might even be worse than number 10. Now, I love me some Honey Badger. I love me some Honey Badger. But most exciting, his position in itself, he couldn't be as that dynamic as some of the people we're going to talk about tonight because he just didn't have the ball in his hand. He couldn't make electrifying plays because of the position that he played. Agree or disagree, guys?
I agree, but there is somebody on my list who played his position. That is electrifying, and
okay,
I think you'll agree with me once you see it.
Okay, all right. So hold on to that. Number 8, Devin Hester. Am I wrong? Devin Hester was more of a factor. His name got bigger. He did more electrifying things in the NFL.
Absolutely. And
as opposed to college, yeah.
Right. And I'm a Hurricane fan. I love the Hurricane more than the Golden Gophers.
Right.
I grew up with that team, and a little tie-in with this team I'll be getting to in my list a little bit later. But yeah, man, Devin Hester, he blew up obviously when he got to Chicago. So I think that's where his name gets on this list. Like you said, more for the pro stuff that he did as opposed to the college things he did down in Miami.
100%. Rell Scott, what do you say?
I agree, man. Like the coolest thing to me about Devin Hester was when Deion was in the house when he broke the record. You know what I'm saying? Most of his things came in the NFL. So electrifying in college. Now, when you think all time, you got to think all time. Top 10, this is a short list. Sorry, Mr. Hester, but you did not make it.
Got you. Okay, so we're on the same page. We're pretty much on the same page. And then we have coming in on this guy's, whoever he works for, his list is Lamar Jackson. I think that we all agree Lamar Jackson's probably a top 10, most electrifying play in college football history. I think we might agree to that. We'll see. Johnny Manziel. Now, I mean, he had a great year. He had a great senior year or his last year at college at Texas A&M. But I just don't know if he cracks the top 10. He was phenomenal. But I just don't know if he cracks the top 10. And not only top 10, I got an honorable mention list from hell over here.
Right. Yep.
I'm serious, man. I got an honorable mention list that is just phenomenal in itself. So to make this list, you got to be extraordinary. And I don't know if Johnny Manziel cracks the top 10. Charles Woodson, what do y'all think about Charles Woodson on the guys' list at number 5? Number 5?
Charles might be on somebody's list, but I don't know about number 5, though.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a Penn State fan.
Right. And someone, a Minnesota fan, a Big Ten dude like Rell here. I will say that Charles is on my list, and I'm going to leave it there.
Okay. All right. Got you. Number 4. This guy, whoever this guy is, this blasphemous being, he has number 4, Vince Young. Okay. Maybe the best national championship game that I've ever seen. Vince Young and the Texas Longhorns versus, who was it, USC, Southern Cal?
Yep.
Vince Young, drives them final, second drive. They win the championship. Just a great college career. But I don't know. We'll see. Adrian Peterson, great running back in college at Oklahoma. He comes in at number 3 on these people's list. And coming in at number 2 is Michael Vick. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody thinks Michael Vick is probably in the top 10. And then this person has Reggie Bush as their number one, okay? Their number one most electrifying college football player of all time. Now, you've seen the list, and we can refer to it, when we want to. But I'm just going to say this right now. That list was put together by a greenhorn. You know what a greenhorn is?
Yes, absolutely was. Absolutely was. Yep.
That list was put together clearly by somebody that's really watched football like in the last decade. Right. For him to have Johnny Manziel on it, for him to have who else did they have on it? Honey Badger on that list. Yeah. That's a young dude that put that list together. Do y'all agree with me? Yes or no?
Oh, I totally agree. You could tell, just like you said.
I'm surprised he had Tebow on the list.
Right. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get to my list, and I want to get your reaction. I want to get thumbs up, thumbs down, too high, too low, shouldn't have been on the list or whatever. We're going to have some fun with this. Once again, we're going to get y'all's top 10 as well. All right, while y'all drinking, y'all. Rell, show him the glass, Rell. Rell, show him the glass, the shot glass, Rell.
Can you see that?
Hard to see because it's black, but that's the official Stewart Show shot glass.
Man, I wasn't even thinking about it. Right.
Supposed to be prepared, man.
I'm over here thinking I'm all Mr. Sophisticated with my little Glencairn glass for my bourbon here, and I got the damn 2 Live Stew shot glass sitting up in the cabinet.
There you go. I went instant classic for the host.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. All right. Definitely. So we're going to go over my top 10. We'll go over you guys' top 10. Then we can even talk a little bit of honorable mentions or something like that. All right. So I got these nice little graphics coming in. And there was actually, let me say one more thing. There was actually another top 10 list before the one that we just discussed just now, like maybe 2 months ago. So I don't know people in a college football state of mind. We didn't get full seasons. We didn't see a lot of college football this year. And so I guess people are just nostalgic about college football, okay? But I got some people on my list that didn't make this list that we just reviewed or the other list that I'm talking about. Coming in at number 10 for me, most electrifying college football players of all time, is this guy right here. Randy Moss.
Okay.
I think some people forget about some of these players that we're talking about. Randy Moss was that dude. Okay,
Doug, you ain't lying, man. Like Roy Jones used to say, y'all must have forgot.
Y'all must have forgot. Now, I do think that people sometimes tend to forget about Moss's career because he played at what we perceive to be like a smaller level, a lower level of football. And that, what conference is that? The MAC conference?
Yep.
But he was unstoppable. He was unstoppable. Like every Saturday, you can turn on whatever highlight show, and Randy Moss is running away from everybody, like 1, 2, 3 times a game. All right. Several 200-yard games in college. Several games where he had 5 touchdown receptions. Randy Moss comes in at number 10 of the most electrifying college football players of all times. Okay. Coming in at number 9 for me, and I know y'all forgot about this dude. Coming in at number 9 for me is Marshall. Marshall Faulk.
Okay.
At San Diego State. Okay. Nobody on none of these lists that we've seen had put Herschel Walker. Do you remember Herschel Walker's last year at San Diego State? Like, it was literally like the craziest highlight reels. He had a ton of catches in his last year in college. He only had 1,500 yards rushing, but he had 21 touchdowns, 300 attempts in 1993 while making 47 catches for 644 yards and 3 touchdowns. So I got Herschel Walker coming in at number 9. So far, what do y'all say? Doug, I don't know what the hell you're doing. You okay so far?
I'm actually okay so far. You got me rethinking my list real quick.
I knew I should have went first.
Hey, just real quick on Herschel Walker before Brother Rell gets in here, man. The thing about Herschel Walker, and especially that last year that you mentioned, Doug, he's one of the very few players that literally this one player carried a whole team
Yes.
out there for San Diego State. And any success was all on him. It didn't matter about any other player. If Marshall was hurt, they're done. If he's in, they got a shot.
Right. Yeah. So San Diego State, remember, San Diego State really in this football powerhouse.
Right.
Outside of Marshall Faulk, the only other player, I'm gonna see if y'all know your trivia. The only other San Diego State player that I remember of note was Mark McGuire's brother that played quarterback for them. I think his name was Dan McGuire.
He was a stiff. He got drafted by Seattle.
That's right. He got drafted by Seattle and fizzled out in like a year or two.
Yeah.
I think his name was Dan McGuire. But other than that, man, I think that a lot of people just don't check on the West Coast teams because of the time difference.
Right.
You know, there is definitely an East Coast bias when we talk about the West Coast football, West Coast sports in general. Okay.
Yep.
So that's coming in at number 9. We got Marshall Faulk. Coming in at number 8 for me, prime time. Prime time.
Low on my list, but okay, go ahead.
So let me tell you why.
Prime couldn't get 5 or up.
Let me tell you why I got him at number 8. I got him at number 8 because he only returned punts. Like I don't think that he only returned punts, and whenever he got an interception, then it was showtime. But his time in having the ball in his hands was very limited to a wide receiver even, or most definitely a quarterback or a running back. So I had to find a place to put him in because he was electrifying. So I got him at number 8. You guys may convince me that I need to put him a little bit lower, but right now I got prime time at number 8, all right, for Florida State. Coming in at number 7, this really, really pissed me off about the other list that I saw. This guy wasn't on the list of the other, wasn't listed on the other 2 lists that we've been talking about. Coming in at number 7, the Rocket.
Yeah. I hate Notre Dame as a Miami Hurricane fan, but I mean, hey, look, man, you got to give this brother his due. Every time that ball went up in the air from a kickoff or whatever, and he was getting it, you had to watch. I mean, the Rocket is the Rocket, and I hate saying that, but I agree, Douglas. I agree.
Look, I hate Notre Dame.
I hate it too, bro.
You had to respect that dude. Every time he got the ball in his hand, it's a pretty good chance it's going back for a TD.
Yep. It's a very good chance it was going back for a TD.
And I'm gonna be biased because I thought I was the only one on here that thought I was gonna have him on my list. But go ahead, Doug.
Bro, listen here, man. I mean, this is what I do. Y'all know this is what I do. This is what I used to do. This is what I used to do. Man, they could not for a long time. I didn't even know that the man's real name was Ragib. I thought his mama named him Rocket. Like I didn't know his name was Reggie until he got drafted, I think. Ishmael was that dude. So coming in at number 7 is Rocket Ishmael. Coming in at number 6, this is another guy that wasn't on the list of the ones that we talked about in the past over the last couple of weeks and months. I mean, you got to put this guy on the list, man. Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, all right, holds the Division I FBS record in college football for most rushing yards in a season, 2,628 yards. Wait a minute. The man almost rushed for 3,000 yards in a Division I Power 5 conference.
Yes, sir.
Now, I do think that, during the era that he played in for the school he played with, we probably didn't give him enough attention at the time.
Right.
I really didn't know how serious Barry Sanders was until like the end of his career when he got drafted and he started seeing all these highlight films. But nobody really was checking for Oklahoma State back during that time, from what I remember.
Exactly.
Okay? But Barry Sanders, man, 2,600 yards, 37 touchdowns in 1 year. Unbelievable. So, and you know how dynamic the guy was running the football. So I got Barry Sanders coming in at number 6. Coming in at number 5, here's another guy that the Greenhorns sleep on. Coming in at number 5 is this dude right here. Sheer electricity.
Doug cheating off my list.
Peter Warrick.
Doug just stole my list.
Peter Warrick.
Come on, Dougie.
Peter Warrick was that dude at Florida State. Do y'all remember every time this dude touched the ball, like you were like waiting for him to break a touchdown? Mm-hmm. Now, one of the guys on the list that didn't have that great of a career, I actually don't even know what he did NFL-wise. Like, what team drafted him? Do y'all even remember?
I don't know.
Cincinnati Bengals.
That's right. He was with the Bengals for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So I think he was actually in the league for a couple of years.
He was with the Bengals for like 3 years.
Okay. But we definitely remember what he did at Florida State. Like pure electricity every time that he touched the ball. Agreed or disagree?
I agree. I remember them Sugar Bowls.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so coming in at number 4, here's where the ish gets real. Okay. Coming in at number 4, the Greenhorns would never even consider this guy because they weren't born yet. Okay?
Can I guess before you pull it up?
Go ahead, guess.
Is it LT? LaDainian Tomlinson?
Hell no, man. No, man.
All right, proceed.
But you know what?
LT was a bad boy at TCU.
LT was a bad boy.
Yeah,
but no, I'm going even further back than him, okay? Coming in at number 4 and very easily could have come in at number 1 on my list, but I'll explain to you why he's not number 1. But coming in at number 4, Orenthal, James Simpson.
The juice is loose.
Hey,
Orenthal, James Simpson.
And
the juice is loose.
I'm gonna call him OJ. I'm gonna call him OJ.
Yes.
Wow.
No, I don't have. He's on my list. I don't have him that high, but I got a story that I'm going to share when I do my list about Mr. Orenthal that I think will just put everything in perspective about how he kind of was one of the first running backs of this somewhat modern era in college football that started to change the game.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. So the Juice was a bad man. My favorite football player of all time. I got to see like his last couple of years that I remember where I was watching football. I got to see him in his last couple of years at Buffalo. And I also remember his last year or two, maybe it was, with San Francisco.
Right. Yeah.
But you can go, here's the thing for the young kids, for the Greenhorns. The great thing about this is, in this type of discussion or debate, is there is videotape of O.J. Simpson that you can easily access by going to YouTube. Yeah. And it is electrifying, okay? This is something that you can quantify and say, this guy was great then, he would still be great today.
Yeah.
Okay? So I got O.J. coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, and I know a lot of people probably think that I got this guy even higher, but coming in at number 3 is MV7. MV7.
I take that.
Big discussion a couple of weeks ago in the chat group about how I thought that Michael Vick really opened the doors for other dual threat quarterbacks in the NFL. And my argument is, listen, if Mike Vick getting drafted number 1 didn't succeed, or what we would call succeed, or had a good career, then the whole dual threat experiment might have been over. It might have ended with him. Well, people will say, well, Randall Cunningham and, quarterbacks like that have come before him. Steve McNair have come before him. The thing is, these guys that we're seeing getting drafted right now to play quarterback, these dual threat quarterbacks, these guys didn't grow up idolizing Cunningham or Steve McNair.
Yep.
They grew up idolizing this guy right here. And the fact that this guy was a number 1 pick, I just think that, and you look at his career at Virginia Tech, put Virginia Tech on his back, went to a national championship, lost to Florida State. I believe lost to Peter Warrick's Florida State team, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So coming in number 3 for me, college football's most electrifying players of all time is Michael Vick. Coming in at number 2, I got to give him credit, man. I got to give him credit.
Yep.
This dude right here.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Reggie Kardashian.
Reggie Bush comes in at number 2. The reason why I have him higher than some other guys that, may have been well-deserving is because Reggie Bush touched the ball literally in every position on the offense and on special teams.
Yes.
He returned kicks. He returned punts for touchdowns. He caught passes as a wide receiver or a slot man for touchdowns. He played running back. They snapped the ball to him in the backfield. And this dude had some electrifying touchdown runs, period. He was electrifying. I mean, he just was. I got to give it to him.
Yes, sir. Yep, I got no arguments.
Okay.
Even though he had to give his Heisman back, but I agree with you, Doug. Go ahead.
Hey, why you gotta bring up the more stuff?
That's semantics. It's okay.
That's semantics. Yeah.
And coming in at number one, and people know. Okay, y'all know me. Y'all listen to the show for many, many years. Y'all know I'm not one of them dudes that's a prisoner of the moment.
Yes, sir.
I'm not. I pay homage to O.J. Simpson. I mean, for God's sakes, okay? I tried to find a way to put Earl Campbell on here. I just couldn't do it, all right? Not a prisoner of the moment, but y'all you gotta just go ahead and just give the respect that this man damn well deserves. Lamar Jackson. Number one.
Doug, I gotta say, I wasn't expecting that.
So
somebody be looking on my list. Go ahead, Dad.
Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something about Lamar Jackson, okay? That most people don't realize what this man did at Louisville. Part of it's because it was Louisville. Part of it is because they didn't have a great team and they lost a lot of games at the end of the year, or both his second to last year and his last year. Lamar Jackson, most consecutive games throwing for 300 yards and rushing for 100 yards. He did that on 2 games against Purdue as well as North Carolina. He's responsible for one of 12 performances in FBS history with 400 yards and rush for 100 yards in the same game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
407
yards passing, 182 yards rushing versus Syracuse in 2016. Responsible for one of 17 performances in FBS history with 200 yards and rush for 200 yards in the same game. The man passed for 200 yards and rushed for 200 yards in the same game. Responsible for 2 of the 35 seasons in FBS history with 2,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards. One of 17 plays. I mean, on and on and on and on. Right. This dude literally is the reincarnation of Michael Vick, but I even think that he might have shown that he has more wiggle and might even be faster than Vick. I don't know, but his numbers way surpass what Vick did. He should have won the Heisman twice.
Yeah.
His numbers, his last year at Louisville, were actually better than the previous year in which he won the Heisman Trophy.
That's right.
Okay, so I know a lot of people have him in their top 10. I got him in number 1. If you look at the stats, if you look at the numbers, if you look at how dynamic this guy was and how he destroyed and carved up teams by himself in college football, I got Lamar Action Jackson coming in at number 1. So a quick recap. Randy Moss at 10, Marshall Faulk at 9, Dion at 8, The Rocket at number 7. Coming in at number 6, Gary. Peter Warwick at 5. O.J. Orenthal James Simpson at 4. Vick at 3. Reggie Bush at 2. And coming in at number 1, Lamar Action Jackson. If we had the sound effects, we give applause.
That's a very, very impressive list. I couldn't put O.J. on my list because y'all a little bit older than me, and I only did people that I actually saw.
Right. Okay. So that's what I did. I did people I always saw.
Right.
Okay.
So you good with it. You good with it. Because some people trying to grab people just for name's sake and try to surprise you.
Right.
That was a very impressive list, bro.
Okay.
We stole a couple of mine, but it's all good.
Here we go.
It's all
good.
So,
all right. So who gonna go next with their list? Their top 10. I want to hear this.
Hey, Vince. Let's get what's the what was your honorable mentions? Or do you want to do that at the end?
I can do honorable mentions now, whatever way y'all want to do it.
Wait, no. You know what? No, let's let Vince go. Then I'll go because your honorable mentions may be on one of our lists.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's good. You're thinking.
All right,
You're thinking.
I'm on it.
Go ahead, Vince. Give me your top 10 most electrifying college football players of all time. Starting from number 10, going down to number 1. Ooh, he put up paper. Yes.
Yes, sir. All right. So the Gov is definitely going to go with, at number 10, the one and only Barry Sanders.
Ooh, number 10, Barry.
Now, and real quick, let me explain about my list here, people. My number 1 is concrete. Everybody else, I'd like to say, you know how they say in no particular order,
right?
But I'm just putting the order out there because that's the way we're doing it here,
right?
So for reasons we already talked about with Barry, bringing the way he ran, speed, elusiveness, and to make Oklahoma State viable for a couple years as well. It's not the Oklahoma State that they got nowadays. They got a pretty decent team down there now.
Right.
So got the big man at number 10. At number 9, he slices, he dices.
Uh-oh.
That's a Renthal James.
OJ Simpson, baby. Why you gotta bring up old stuff?
He's a cut above the rest.
Can y'all guys just let bygones be bygones? Man was found not guilty. Not guilty.
All right, not guilty. Still got the Ginsu Knives contract, but that's all right.
Slice.
But the story about OJ, and I wanted to share this, and Doug, what I was mentioning earlier, I think it was like 1968. All my relatives and folks that are older than me up here talk about the infamous day that USC came up to Minnesota to play, and they have OJ Simpson. So what they tried to do up here, and Gophers were still kind of a national power back in the late 60s. So this was a huge game. They stopped cutting the grass to try and slow OJ Simpson down.
Wow.
This brother and still ran for about 200 yards in like 9-inch cuts of grass. Not even thinking about, hey, it's going to slow our own team
right.
down. But,
y'all on the same field. That doesn't make sense, Vince.
But that's what they did.
Grass worked both ways.
Exactly. They grew the grass longer to try and stop a Renthal James. So he is number 9. And like I said earlier, he's one of those running backs that started changing the game in kind of this pseudo new era of college football.
Okay.
Now here's the tie-in with the Renthal James at number 8.
Okay.
The man that came and kind of took the shine. The new little OJ, Mr. Marcus Allen for Vince Ryan. Yeah, I forgot about Marcus, and I had to pull it up here because that Heisman year, 1981, ran for 2,300 yards, 22 touchdowns, and just a cold-blooded dude that we know what he did in the pros, arguably the greatest Super Bowl run ever. But people forget him at USC, man. They come from a long line of running backs, obviously. But, man, he is the forgotten gem in that offense. So that's my man at number 8.
So
yes,
allegedly.
Maybe he took OJ's girl.
That's what I was about to say. Allegedly took OJ's girl and led to everything else. Okay.
Well, and it's all kind of been verified now too. He don't like to talk about it, Doug.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Marcus Allen at number 8. Got you. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Number 7, we got Prime Time.
Okay.
There we go.
Again, just for what Doug said, and I got, he did a little bit of everything, but when he touched the ball, shit was going to happen.
Electricity
was going to happen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The curl looked wet, but it was dry.
Oh man. And honestly, one of the things too, because being a Hurricanes fan back of those teams in the 80s and 90s, was I like players that could talk a little smack and back it up.
Right.
And nobody did it better than Prime Time.
That was a different era. It's much different right now. You're right. You had the Miami Hurricanes. Everybody from Florida. Whatever team you played on in Florida was good. Trash talkers from the womb. You're exactly right. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so number 6.
Okay, it's getting interesting.
We're going to take you back. I found a place for my man, Rell Scott, and I had to give number 6 to Earl Campbell.
Rose.
Yes.
Rose.
Now, I'm a couple years older than both of y'all, so I definitely remember Earl back in the day, Texas.
That's what I was. That's what I was thinking, because I really don't remember Earl Campbell at At Oklahoma. He was at Oklahoma?
Texas.
At Texas, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I really don't remember seeing Earl Campbell at Texas. So I'm 51 years old. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I caught the tail end of OJ, but I don't remember Earl Campbell in college like that. I don't.
Maybe we got more games up here from them back in the days, but I would remember seeing him and back in the day, Texas, Oklahoma, when that was the big rivalry still, and all this other stuff.
So you know what? Exactly. Yep. You know what? Something I just realized when I said that, I don't really remember OJ at USC.
You better not.
I'm about to say OJ was first.
I really don't. But the thing about OJ, and I guess why it's still cool that I have him on my list, because I was a fan. I watched him a lot in the NFL. But there's so much video of highlight reels of OJ at USC for the years that he was there that I've seen him so much in college dominating at USC. He goes on my list. Damn it. I don't care.
No, absolutely. And plus, with what he allegedly did, there's been so many documentaries, the 30 for 30.
Right.
That really focus in on those USC years. So, I get that.
Okay. Great point.
All right. Hitting into the top 5, number 5 for the Sports Gov. Going back, take me down to them Georgia back rows, man. Mr. Herschel Walker, one and only. I mean, don't want to talk politics with the brother, but
Herschel, he done lost it now.
But when it comes to college football, I mean, he is way up there on the list. And y'all remember, I mean, speed, power, right? I mean, just pure domination.
Yeah.
You can't stop him.
Hey, Gov, can I tell you one quick story about Herschel?
Of course.
The first time I was really, really afraid of Herschel, 1982, Penn State, Georgia. Sugar Bowl. I'm thinking to myself, like, we can't tackle this dude. Somebody just get in front of him, fall down. Hopefully he'll jump, and then we can gang tackle him. But Paterno figured out a plan, and we took care of that. So,
but listen to you. Now he's phenomenal. I mean, he's Herschel Walker, and when it comes to college football, he's one of the definite legends. Going into number 4, bringing it back to Big Ten country. Mr. Charles Woodson for me.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. I knew that would catch some out there. But again, a lot of the reasons we talk about primetime, he was the later version in a sense. He could do it on the punt returns, kick returns, receiver, obviously in the defensive backfield. I mean, he did it all, and he got the Heisman for it. And I used to love watching that brother play every single weekend. If I couldn't catch Michigan live just for him, I would just wait for SportsCenter. So Charles is number 4. For the Greenhorns, you may have to hit YouTube here, but number 3 for the Sports Governor, Mr. Archie Griffin from the Ohio State University.
Definitely don't remember no Archie Griffin.
Hey,
two-time.
Two-time. That's right, Mr. Two-time, the only two-time winner of the Heisman Trophy. He's just someone that, you may look at him and not think of what he turned into, but he is the forgotten legend of college football.
Okay.
Quiet dude off the field, man, but you go and look at some of those old runs, hands down one of the best that ever do it.
Okay, Archie Griffin, got you.
Okay.
All right.
Now, number 2 is Reggie Bush for me.
Wait a minute. We agreed. We had Reggie Bush. Yeah. I had Reggie Bush in number 2 as well.
Yep. So for a lot of what you said, Doug, but again, here's the thing for him. He made that West Coast USC game must-watch football.
Yeah.
That was one of the few times where people on the East Coast were stand up. I'll never forget that Fresno State game when Fresno State of all teams comes down to the Coliseum, damn near wins the game. It was like one of them 60-58 type of games. And Reggie Bush rushes for like 400 yards and this and that all over the field. The man is just phenomenal. And I don't care what the NCAA says about his Heisman. It's his.
Yes.
God bless him.
Okay.
All right. Now, number 1.
Wait. Okay, before you get to number 1, something is really wrong here. We already hit number 1. and
I know.
you don't have Lamar Jackson. So I'm guessing you got Lamar Jackson number one. I hope you got Lamar Jackson because you don't have him in the top 10. So I'm sure you got Lamar Jackson number one.
Gov about to take you back to the time machine. You got to YouTube his next pick. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number one most exciting college football player of all time happens to actually share a name with me. I am Vincent Edward Wright. This man is known as Vincent Edward Jackson by law. We call him Bo. And you know that it is time when Bo Jackson touched that rock. Yes, sir. Bo Jackson.
Oh,
wow.
Number one for the
wow. Number one.
Number one.
So let me address this Bo Jackson and Herschel Walker thing.
Okay. Can't be mad at that though.
If you notice, I don't have Bo or Herschel in my list at all.
Right.
The reason is because the way I view it, this is just my personal opinion. Mm-hmm. I have to have somebody in this list that could be electrifying, that was always in open field, always in open space, like Reggie Bush, Lamar Jackson. Those guys always operated in open space. They had the ability to put a lot of moves on guys. They were juking guys. They returned kicks. They returned punts. They had the ball in their hands a lot where they could make guys look silly.
No, that's a
break
point.
ankles.
That's definitely a fair point.
Bo and Herschel, obviously, phenomenal players, but they were straight running backs. They didn't do enough exciting things as far as that wiggle, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't know. That's just my rationale. But listen, I can't be mad at Bo Jackson or Herschel Walker in the list at all.
No, I think that's very fair, Doug, and that's a very good point. Like you said, you know, for him, just watching that man run and every time he touched the ball and an occasional pass out the backfield. But for me, it was just brute strength.
Right.
And I mean, what he was able to do with it and, you know, parlay that onto the baseball side as well. I mean, it was just phenomenal because he was, you know, he's playing baseball down there at Auburn as well. So to be able, like him in prime time, to do that two-sport thing as well in college. Right, but man, he was my dude. So that's who I got at number one, and I'll save my honorable mentions for after the fashion pimp himself, Rell Scott.
Okay, all right. So before we get to Rell, let's recap Vince's top 10. At number 10, he's got Barry Sanders. Number 9, he's got O.J. Simpson. Number 8, Marcus Allen. Number 7, Deion Sanders. 6, Earl Campbell. 5, Herschel Walker. You real running back heavy, I see.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell, Herschel Walker. Charles Woodson at 4, Archie Griffin, another running back at 3, Reggie Bush at 2, another running back, and coming in number 1, Bo Jackson. Rell Scott, let's hear it, baby.
Yes, sir. Number 10. And y'all got to remember, my list is based off the people that I've seen, been able to enjoy.
Wipe the milk away from your mouth. You know,
all that good stuff. But mine is not as old as you got to YouTube it with Gov's list, but it's all good. So my number 10 is Desmond Howard.
Okay.
Electrifying. You get the ball, and I'm a Big Ten fan.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So every time he got that ball, it's like, man, hope he don't hit the Heisman on us.
Yeah. Right.
So you gotta make sure you get down there. Either punt return, kickoff return, or as a wide receiver. So he's like a triple threat.
Right.
So we got Desmond at 10.
So Rell, for the record, no, wait, have you already said it? You're a Penn State fan. You already said it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So yep. Rell is a Penn State fan. Vince is obviously a Minnesota Golden Gopher fan. Let's keep that in mind when we hear his list. So that really probably has to hurt for you to give credit to Desmond Howard.
I got a couple people on this list that hurt Penn State that I hate, but when you respect something and somebody's abilities, you got to give it up to them.
Yeah, like me. I got a Larry Bird jersey, man. When I got that Larry Bird jersey, people were astounded, you know, because I'm a Laker
wearing in public.
But you're right, man. When you got respect for somebody's game and for their ability, I mean, it supersedes everything else, all of the hate that you have.
Exactly. No doubt. No doubt. Right. Number 9, I got Rocket Isbound that you stole. Number 7, Doug.
Okay.
The Rocket is another one, man. 330. Yeah. I hate Notre Dame.
Uh-huh.
Notre Dame, no matter who they playing, you hear that music, whatever. They kick that ball off, man. Rocket back there. Between him and Tim Brown, I was kind of going back and forth, but Rocket got it to me over Tim Brown. A threat every time he touches the ball.
Yeah.
I looked at some video, I looked and getting ready for this show. I looked at some video of the Rocket, man, and I forgot how fast he was. Like, it really makes sense to call him Rocket Ishmael. He had a second gear like we've never seen before, man. Go back, for the Greenhorns watching this, go back and watch some video of the Rocket, Raghib Ishmael, Notre Dame, number 25. I mean, this dude was silly fast. I mean, silly fast.
Exactly.
All right, who you got at number 8, Rell?
Number 8, I got Herschel. Had to put Herschel up in there, man.
Okay.
Herschel get the ball, 9-yard line. He may go 91 yards on you. No matter where you're at from the field, always a threat. Ain't too many people going to tackle him one-on-one. So Herschel, number 8. And then number 7, I got the great Tommy Frazier.
Oh, yeah.
Nebraska. Only because he used to kill Penn State with that wishbone offense. I'm thinking to myself, the ball is going right every time. He's going to fake it to the running back right. He's going to go up the middle. You know what's coming. But Tommy Frazier, if you don't know who he is, Greenhorns, YouTube it.
YouTube
15. Tommy Frazier. Touchdown every time.
Tommy was a cold dude, man.
Yes. Yeah. I hated Tommy. For the record, I hate Notre Dame. I hate Nebraska. But you got to give it up to him.
You hate a lot of teams, bro.
I hate anything Duke.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I agree with you.
Easy now.
Number 6, I got Bo Jackson at 6.
Bo Jackson at 6.
Bo could have been higher, but because of his position, Bo didn't catch many balls. So most of his balls are coming out the backfield running. Yep. So if he got the ball in different positions, then he probably would have been a little bit higher. But Bo should be on everybody's list, whether we like him or not.
Okay.
Number 5, I got Prime.
Okay.
Deion, like you said, he didn't have the ball enough in his hands. But as a corner, as a punt returner, as a kick returner, there was one time he played Clemson one weekend. He told Clemson, he pointing towards the sideline, I'm about to run this back. I'm going to run it back. They kicked it to him. He ran it back. They throwing water bottles at him, cups, everything.
Oh, I can imagine.
This nigga with a jerry curl like this in the middle of the touchdown, waiting for him. And then the next week, they went and played Michigan State. Him and Rison was going back and forth. Right. The week after that, they went and played Miami. Him and Irvin going back and forth. And I said, this dude with the jerry curl that look wet but is dry.
Wow.
I said, he's something special. And I've been following Prime ever since. In the 89, when Atlanta signed him,
right.
Here I am.
Yeah.
That's it.
Falcon fan. Got you. That's awesome.
We got Prime at 5. Number 4, I got Peter Warwick.
Okay.
We talked about that, man. Every time Peter got that ball, man, especially that Sugar Bowl when they played Virginia Tech. You can put him in slot, inside, outside, kick returner, punt returner. Warwick got that ball, man. He made a touchdown every time. It was amazing.
That dude had change of direction. Like, it was just so unbelievable. Like, he would literally stop on a dime, man, and make cuts. So definitely feel you on Peter Warwick. All right, who you got at number 3?
Number 3, I got Kardashian, aka Reggie Bush.
Okay.
USC's finest.
We pretty consistent. Reggie Bush is averaging like 2.5.
He about 2.5 on our list. Reggie was a bad boy, man. Reggie was another one that can stop on the dime.
Right.
You can get the little swing pass out to Reggie on 3rd down. He going up the sideline and he gonna jump over somebody.
Right.
So Reggie do that thing, man. He cut back on. He can catch. He can run, and he can block. You never had to take him out of the game.
So let me say something about this. I'm happy that we all are in agreement on Reggie Bush very high at number 3 or number 2. Because what the Greenhorns would say is, oh, y'all just hating on young people. Y'all just going back to 50 years ago, whatever. That's not the case, man. I can give respect. We're not living prisoners. We're not prisoners of the moment, is the way that saying goes. So I love the fact that we all agree that Reggie Bush dude was for real.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, when you watch Reggie, you know it was special.
Yeah.
Like we on the East Coast, and Saturday nights we going out to party. But if USC is on, it's like, hold up. Right. I got to see what Reggie doing, then we going out. Or when you got back from whatever you was doing that night, you turn on Sports Center and you knew Reggie did something special.
100%. Who you got at number 2?
Number 2, I got Lamar Jackson.
Okay. All right.
Lamar.
We good. We closer than we thought.
Yeah, when I seen Lamar account for 6 touchdowns in one game, and this may have been the same game that he ran for 200 and threw for 200.
Right.
Yep.
Get it, man. That's it. You know what I mean? And it's like when he got drafted, it's like, oh, he needs to work on this. He needs to work on that. This Negro just had 6 touchdowns in the game twice.
You know, that was
what else y'all want him to do?
That's what I was saying, bro. I would say that on my show and stuff. They because remember they were talking about switching positions as they always do with the black quarterback,
right,
and putting them in the defensive backfield and all this nonsense. I'm like, how are you going to take a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback and put him on the defensive side of the ball? This man can throw with the best of them.
Yeah,
he can run. I mean, just such bullshiggity nonsense coming out of ESPN and Fox and all of them.
Right. Exactly. This guy threw for a ton of yardage. Now he didn't have. I think his completion percentage was like in the low 50s, mid 50s, 50%. But still, he. I mean, no need to even get into it. The guy's the league MVP in the NFL. We know what he can do. But you're right. There was a lot of shade being cast upon him, and would his game project to the next level? It clearly has. It clearly has. Who you got? Wait, let me take a guess. A guess. I mean,
who's missing?
LeVar Arrington.
If we did defense, I sure would have.
John Carter, right?
Is it Saquon?
No, I don't think you'll do that. I don't think you'll do that.
Put the pipe down, homie. Put that pipe down.
I hope you won't do that. The only one that I'm looking at from Vince's list and my list that I say you have to put this guy on your list somewhere and you don't have him anywhere yet. Do you have Barry Sanders at number 1?
Barry Sanders? Nope.
Yeah, he does. It's right there.
Number 1.
Oh,
I forgot about MV7.
That's right.
You have Vick at number 1. That was my next guess.
I got MV7 at number 1, and I got the jersey to prove it. So
tell me more about this selection of Michael Vick at number 1.
He didn't have anybody at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has great special teams, which is okay. But in the cold, one wide receiver, no tight end, and no running backs. And you knew Vick was going to either throw the ball, keep the ball, and run it to the left or to the right. Yep. And he still did his thing. He almost single-handedly beat Florida State in that Sugar Bowl with Peter Warwick.
Yeah, single-handedly.
He didn't have enough help. But
right.
And like Lamar Jackson, it's like he can't do this, he can't do that. They focused on everything that he couldn't do. He came in the league, man. When he got signed, it was Cincinnati Falcons. Falcons getting blown out. It was like, oh, you got to put the young boy in. Vick came in there, man. Lit the Georgia Dome up. He's been doing that since college. Why is this such a surprise? So for me, the most exciting player that I've ever seen in my 48 years of watching TV is MV7.
Wow. There we go. If we had the applause machine, we'd all give applause, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's go over our honorable mentions. Okay. Let me run through mine real quick. Vince Young, honorable mention. Marcus Dupree. All right.
Wow.
Y'all seen the 30 for 30. I remember him when he actually played at Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Marcus Dupree. Yes, I got Charles Woodson as an honorable mention. I got Johnny Manziel as an honorable mention. Okay. I got Charles.
Johnny Manziel for real?
Huh?
You got Johnny Manziel for real?
Yeah, as an honorable mention. Exciting. He was an exciting player.
I guess for all time, I'm thinking you got to do it for more than 1 year.
Well, that's why he's honorable mention.
That's why he's honorable mention.
Okay.
I got Charles Woodson. I got Bo Jackson. Okay. I got Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
I got the Honey Badger. Okay. I got Herschel. I got Desmond Howard. I got Ricky Williams.
Okay. Yeah.
I got Anthony Carter, AC from Michigan.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I got Charles White, the running back from USC. That's probably a little bit before Rell. I was a little boy watching Charles White on Saturday night on my black and white TV in my bedroom.
I remember number 12.
Yes.
Right? Number 12, because that was the thing, a running back, number 12. Man, again, greenhorns, do yourself a favor and hit YouTube's the greatest invention ever, right?
Yes,
YouTube works.
I mean, Charles White was a mofo, man.
Charles White was a bad dude. And last honorable mention that I got, people forget about this dude. I think he was before Peter Warrick. Tamarick Vanover. Kick returner from Florida State.
Okay, yep.
Absolute beast returning kicks and punts.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you didn't put Terrell Buckley on your list.
No, I didn't put him on my list. All right. So go ahead, Vince. Give me your honorable mention.
All right. Kicking it off for my honorable mentions, Super Bowl homeboy, Mr. Randy Moss.
Okay.
What people real quick on him to not only make Marshall and the MAC relevant, I mean, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate and probably should have won. I mean, if he wasn't Randy Moss with the baggage,
right,
he may have very well been a Heisman Trophy winner.
100%.
So Randy Moss, I got Vince Young, I got Lamar Jackson. I had a little argument earlier with a friend of mine who dared me to be honest, as he said, with myself. I couldn't put him on my list, but an honorable mention, Tim Tebow.
Woo! Tim Tebow.
No.
Hey, it's your honorable mention.
It's your list.
Yes,
2 years for those 2 years only.
It's your list.
But yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson, like I said, Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
Tommy Frazier is definitely on my list.
Okay.
And just to give a little bit of love to the defensive side of the ball, honorable mention, and this just comes more from my heart, from the defense of the Miami Hurricanes in the 80s and early 90s. The players they put out, man, Jerome Brown, the Blades brothers.
Yes.
I mean, we obviously can go on, but just phenomenal. And also going way, way back to the Greenhorns. Doug, you may remember Mr. Hugh Green, University of Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yes.
Dominant college defensive player.
He didn't win the Heisman. He came in like second or something.
Yes,
right?
That's right. And, again, back when the defense would get a little more shine.
Right.
But, and obviously Michael Vick. And I think that is it for my list. Yep.
Awesome. Rell Scott, give them to me, baby.
Only got 4, man. I make it quick.
Okay.
I got Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams, the beast. I got Rod Woodson.
Oh, yeah.
I got, you had to think about this one. I got the great Jack Jackson, number 1 wide receiver from Florida, 1992 to 95. Jack Jackson, look that up.
Wow.
And defensively, I got Derrick Brooks, Florida State. He was a beast.
Okay, Derrick Brooks, Florida State.
Derrick Brooks had the coolest face mask in Florida State with the gate. I said, remember that dude, though. I said, he's going to be a beast.
Right.
Unfortunately, he end up going to Tampa and terrorizing us for 14 years. But
okay, so it's very evident that we all agree more so than this list here.
I don't know what that is.
Vince Young wasn't on none of our top 10s. He was a great player. I don't want anybody to think I'm hating on Vince Young.
Right.
Vince Young wasn't on any of our top 10s. Johnny Manziel wasn't on any of our top 10s. Devin Hester wasn't on any of our top 10s. Tyrann Mathieu and Ted Ginn Jr. Like 6 of this guy's top 10s, we didn't have in our top 10s at all.
Where does this list come from? The Puppet Factory?
I think it came from the Puppet Factory. Oh, so people that don't know, the Puppet Factory is the name that I gave ESPN because their hosts, play the company line and they regurgitate the same stuff all day long, and if they don't, they're reprimanded. So I think this may have come from one of the writers from the Puppet Factory. I'm not sure, but this list is garbage. That's why we're going to do our own top 10 list going forward.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Hey, man, I had a lot of fun. So let me say this one thing. I'm using this show kind of like twofold, all right?
Okay.
Not sure if you guys have heard. I know y'all have heard, but people watching this podcast, this video podcast, I have been promoted to a partner with one of the Fortune 100 financial services companies in the world, okay, in our country, all right? Thank you. I have the ability, and I'm trying to hire 3 new sales agents in the next 90 days. I have the ability to hire 3 new salespeople in the next 90 days, okay? If you know anybody that has been laid off, furloughed, fired, a new mom wanting to go back to work and wants to, try being her own boss and being an entrepreneur, have them reach out to me, all right? My email is STEW. I can't give you my company email. STEWTHEQUE, the number 18 at gmail.com. StewTheQ18 at gmail.com. And my phone number is 678-770-8073. Okay. Phenomenal career opportunity. Once again, be your own boss and the ability to make a lot of very good money and help and impact your community. All right. So pass the word for your boy.
And as my wife, who works for that same company, get to work with them, man. They're good people, and Doug can get you set up.
Exactly. Hey, man, so we did it in we right at an hour. We're 1 minute over. We're 1 minute over. All right. Hey, appreciate it, guys. Had a lot of fun. The definitive top 10 most electrifying college football players of all times.
Realness.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to post this in the Two Live Stews chat group, and we'll try to do something again next week. All right.
Good stuff, man.
Hey,
appreciate the invite, Doug.
Appreciate you.
No doubt. All right, guys. Holla at you.
Hey, take care, fellas. Stay.
Yes, it's your grown man Gator. Yeah,